Morning. So the bill has a number.
All right.
You can get it on from the bill website or CCL Community Now. It was updated yesterday, and I forgot to write it in my notes. Sorry about that. But it does have a number. 763 is right. Yeah, thank you. HR 763. That's your bill. It's in play now. If I haven't met you, and if you get a chance over the course of today and tomorrow, if you could come up and introduce yourself, I would love to meet you. I won't have time to talk to you for a half hour or 15 minutes, but if you could just say hi and introduce yourself and say where you're from, I would be grateful if you could do that. I also want to say something about the people who planned the event, Sabrina, John, and the people that Sabrina introduced. I read a study a couple years ago about what the most stressful jobs in America are. Number 1 and 2 are being in Afghanistan and Iraq. Number 3 and 4 are police and firework. And number 5 is event planning. And if you've done event planning, you know exactly what they're talking about. Because you don't think everything's going to go wrong, you know everything's going to go wrong. The first time we did a regional conference in Austin, we got there the second day and the building was locked. So we did the first talk outside in the winter. It's really common for event planning, and so I just really, when you see the people who plan this event, thank them, because you live in a condition of constant certainty that everything is going to fall apart and nothing's going to happen. The building's not going to work. The speakers won't show up. Nobody's going to register. It can be a pretty traumatic thing. So again, for all the conference planners, thank you all so much. I do have an idea what you guys do. I like the statement about leadership that we put up here in the front. It says the real problem of leadership is a failure of nerve. Leaders fail not because they lack information, skill, or technique, but because they lack the nerve and presence to stand firm in the midst of other people's emotional anxiety and reactivity. I think we're really lucky that we have 2 such strong leaders in this region. I'd like to please give Sabrina and John a big hand. Then the other thing that I want to say is kind of how I'd like to have us come out of this conference. So I'd like us to see if we could simultaneously stand in 2 places. One is, I think you ought to get a little chesty right now and say, the big green groups that have hundreds of $1 million budgets didn't get a bill out. The Climate Leadership Council, with their ability to get people together like, holy cow, 3 Fed chairs, 17 Nobel laureates, that can reach people we just don't have access to. But they didn't get a bill out, you did. And so I think it's fair to at one point be a little bit like, you know how my kids would say it? We're the shit. So I think it's fair to stand there, but I also think at the same time we should simultaneously try to stand in complete humility of how overmatched we are and what we're trying to deal with. We've taken on something so big that it's impossible for us to be adequate to be a match for it. So can you find a way of resolving both being kind of like a little bit cocky with, oh my God, I need help from everywhere I can get. So that's why the title of my concluding talk tomorrow morning, the end of the conference tomorrow, is The Guardians of the Truth Are Paradox and Confusion, or How I Came to Ask Trees to Help Us. So hopefully that will help a little bit being able to stand in both those places. But anyway, my last thing I want to say is I just appreciate so much being invited here. In the early days of CCL, I was able to get out and do every single group start workshop. I'm locked in headquarters these days. So it's so nice to get out here and see all of you. Thank you for the amazing things that you are making happen. And I'm very much looking forward to these Tuesdays. Thank you so much.